Hey y'all. Okay, so sure don't want to break down here. Okay, so still more drama. Um, things are just crazy, like really crazy. Um, it was kind of funny. I was picking up my little girl one day. Everything was fine that day. But the song "This Is Crazy" came on the radio. I was like, yeah, this is crazy. And it's even gotten even more crazier. It seems like she had to sneak off to call me or something. Well, she called me between classes. I talked to her later. And every time something happens, the poem, the fight, or the girl hitting her, um, and then this last thing, it all happened like the she hit her on a Thursday, I think, and then the poem thing happened on a Friday, and then this thing happened Friday. Um, but I'll get into that story later. I just want to mention I'm still here right now, anyways, but um, I don't know. Anyways, okay, let me try to move on. There's something I was gonna say, but I need to move on. Okay. Um, and I probably won't bring this up anymore. I was gonna tell a few funny stories, but we'll just see. Gotta go from serious to funny, or funny to serious, whatever. Um, I mean, I was 16. He was 23. He used a GUN, you know. So when I went, then I realized I'm getting followed. So yeah, like I really want to tell my family I'm getting followed. So these things have to be said. Okay, so a little while later, I end up finding out he's in jail. So I tell my dad, well, I was told he was in jail. So here's my dad calling and saying this is a good time to talk to him. Oh, well, I appreciate it. We didn't know he was in jail. They did nothing. It was contradicting. They did nothing. The ones that it was supposed to be their job to do, they did nothing. And then how weird is it? However many years later, here's my little girl going through things that are right in people's face. And then Friday, I said, she's got a good point, which I'll get to that story later. But I said, she's got a good point. She came to y'all before about this other bully. So even if she knows who it was or anything, why would she want to tell y'all? Because y'all did nothing about the other bully that she came and complained over and over. And then I think this one, I luckily stuck with the three things. And I said, and I came and did a halt for him, and y'all waited till the very next day between 1, 2 o'clock to call her to the office as they were running laps together, and that's when she was able to hit my daughter. And I paused. I paused a few times on the things I said. There's like four ladies standing right there. I don't know to call it googly eyed. I mean, like, or their eyes just like popping out with strings. They're just looking at me. Just looking. I said, so y'all aren't going to say anything. Y'all are just going to stand there, not say anything, not take any responsibility for what's already happened to my little girl. Still just standing there. One lady was sitting down, just looking at me. No answers, you know. So I'm pretty sure the board, the main one, knows what's going on here, you know. And with my dad, I shouldn't. Okay, with my dad, it's like I'm telling him these things, and I'm pretty sure he knows my daughter and or my daughter telling me we're not lying. I just think that he thinks that they're the good guys, like I used to think 7 years ago or however it was, 8 years ago, 9 years ago, whenever it was. It was my teenage son coming to me saying, Mom, look, they're going after people putting stuff out on YouTube. Well, for me, I was like, well, is it classified stuff? I didn't. And then it was their medicine that kept me asleep all this time. their medicine made me numb and dumb. That's the best two words that I can say. Numb and dumb is what that medicine, I would say, did to me, was numb and dumb. Antidepressants, numb and dumb. And so me trying to tell everybody else about that medicine, they just refuse to go look into it because they're on the medicine, I guess, you know? I don't know. It's just really weird. But I wanted to go over that real quick, the situation with my daughter, because I think it's sad that I shouldn't have had a little girl to have to realize this stuff. You know? Does that make sense? And it almost feels like it seems like I had to have a little girl for me to be like, well, wait a second. You know? Sending her off, knowing that they don't do anything to child molesters, you know? And then the school thing with that number in the yearbook. Like, I had to go back in my brain, you know? I'll talk about that some other time because I do remember when I looked and saw, like, what are you doing, you know? Anyways. But it's like they have allowed my daughter to get abused, and I would say it's somewhat abusive. And it looks like I'm banned from going to my daughter's school because they couldn't give me an answer because they knew I was telling the truth. Banned from, yeah, like someone said, banned from AT&T, banned from her school. They're like abusing my daughter, and then I'm banned from going there. How scary does that look to me? You know, it was 2013 when my dad was saying he was online, and they were saying that in the movie thingamajigger that there was 4 men dressed in black wouldn't let people leave the exit room. That was 2013 when my father mentioned that to me. You know? And I told someone this other day, I want to take his place. You know, I did. I said, I want to take his place. And then I thought later, a minute later, I wanted to say, maybe one day all my old friends will realize how much compassion I have. Because it's for everybody else. If I can take myself out of all my situations, you know. And a lot of people have had it a lot worse. And of course, if I told someone what I had gone through, they'd be like, the reason why I say that, this is the main reason I say that, and that I feel it, is because I have Christian loving parents. I had, you know. That's why I can say that. That's why I feel like that. Because I had a good childhood with both my parents, you know. So there's always someone that's gone through worse. And my daughter looks at things like that too, you know. She's so sweet. She told me a couple of weeks ago, she said, Mama, one time I was crying about something, and then I started crying because I shouldn't have been crying about that because, you know, other people were, you know, going hungry and stuff, or however she said it. And I said, oh, that's so sweet, darling. I even told her not a few weeks ago, I said, you have a bigger heart than I do. You're, you know. And then with this situation, it's with her best friend. And her best friend's like one of the most respectable children, if that's the right word, that I've ever met. I have my little sister, I have my son, I've met a lot of children. Anyways. But I'm keeping my joy. I'm trying to keep my peace. I've had a lot of patience, you know. And once again, they did nothing. They've done nothing. Or whatever. And like I did, I yelled, like, I think I yelled 2 times in the past week. And I said, so everybody else can go to prison except for who did me harm. Or who did me wrong. You know? But for some reason, people aren't getting the understanding where I'm getting it from, you know? Or getting that from or something. And then, of course, I keep thinking and going back to the criminal justice class because I'm thinking, did he actually say that? And then that's a whole nother situation because I'm sitting there, and he at the very end, he mentions the case. And I'm sitting there like, he's got to know who I am. He's got to know who I am. And then I'm sitting there thinking, and he just started teaching this class this year, you know? And this stuff is very weird. It's even weird to me. But sure, there's something else I was going to say. But I'm just going to end it here. And I really don't like it when people like kind of seem like they switch up on you, you know? But all right, I'll see y'all soon, and God bless.